North Korean state television has aired video footage of Pyongyang troops fighting in Russia's border Kursk region. The documentary film shows North Korean troops involved in operations to recapture Russia's Kursk region from Ukrainian army. North Korea sent thousands of troops last year to help Russia recapture its Kursk region, where Ukrainian army launched surprise large-scale incursion. The video shows various episodes of combat operations involving North Korean troops. It documents the loading of North Korean units onto an Il-76 aircraft for transfer to the Russian Federation, conducting exercises to counter small drones, the use of towed 107mm MLRS and 60mm mortars, and the use of FPV drones during the battles in Kursk region. The screening of the film coincides with the award ceremony held in Pyongyang for North Korean soldiers and officers who fought in the war in Russia. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un awarded medals to the returning and fallen soldiers who fought in Russia during a ceremony on Friday. "Our army is now doing what it ought to do and what needs to be done. It will do so in the future, too," the state-run Korean Central News Agency quoted Kim Jong Un as saying during the ceremony. In another sign of respect to the fallen troops, the North Korean leader laid flowers to a memorial wall for Pyongyang soldiers killed overseas. North Korean state television showed footage of North Korean cargo planes returning to Pyongyang with the coffins of DPRK soldiers killed in the Kursk region. DPRK leader Kim Jong Un arrived at a military airfield in Pyongyang to meet the coffins with the bodies of the heroes. Recall: Kim Jong Un has decorated soldiers of the Korean People's Army who served alongside Russian forces in the country's southwestern Kursk region. In a special banquet ceremony held at the Workers' Party of Korea headquarters, Kim praised the victorious conclusion of the soldiers' overseas military operations, and extended his gratitude to them for bravely fighting, as befits Koreans. Kim also honored North Korean soldiers who were killed in combat, and met with bereaved families to offer condolences. According to the Wall Street Journal, North Korea's top military officers had been abruptly called home in order to attend the ceremony. It is not known whether they will be redeployed for future combat in Russian border regions or in Ukraine. According to data cited by BBC News Russian, as of January of this year, North Korea had sent about 11,000 troops to help Russia, of which some 1,000 had been killed. In April, Moscow and Pyongyang first confirmed that North Korean troops had fought, shoulder to shoulder, alongside Russian servicemen as they recaptured the Kursk region from Ukrainian forces, parts of which Kiev had held since its ground invasion of the region in August 2024. Throughout the summer, Western intelligence agencies made several pronouncements about the possibility of Pyongyang expanding its military involvement in the war in Ukraine. In late June, South Korea's top intelligence body delivered a closed-door parliamentary briefing that suggested Pyongyang was ready to send over 6,000 troops to fight for Russia against Ukraine, to be deployed as early as July. 1 week later, Ukrainian officials cited by CNN estimated that North Korea was set to triple its troop presence in Russia and Ukraine, sending a further 25,000 to 30,000 soldiers to the front line. China is ready to send its military forces to Ukraine as part of security guarantees, the German newspaper Welt reported, citing sources. Beijing is ready to send soldiers to Ukraine as part of a peacekeeping mission, the publication said. It is noted that China agrees to participate if the mission is deployed under a UN mandate. China is unlikely to agree to take on real security obligations for Ukraine after the war is over, experts from the South China Morning Post conclude. In their opinion, Beijing will not play a key role in future negotiations on guarantees for Kiev, despite the fact that Moscow is trying to involve it in this process. Analysts say China is resource-constrained and has no intention of setting a precedent that could require it to take similar steps in other regions in the future. Any new agreement must provide mechanisms that will make the guarantees actually work, in order to avoid the inefficiency that was present in the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, the publication notes. Let us recall that the Budapest Memorandum, signed by Ukraine, Belarus and Kazakhstan, envisaged the renunciation of nuclear weapons by these countries in exchange for security guarantees from nuclear powers. However, the document did not work. Russia, which was among the signatories, itself violated it by unleashing a war against Ukraine. China then formally supported the treaty only with a political statement, but did not join it legally. Beijing's 1994 statement stated that the country would not use or threaten to use nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states or in nuclear weapon-free zones. However, China did not provide any specific security guarantees to Ukraine at that time. The United States believes that Europe should take the lead in providing security guarantees for Ukraine, CNN reported. At the same time, Washington does not rule out that American pilots could take part in patrolling Ukrainian airspace. NATO says it will strengthen the Ukrainian armed forces even after the end of the second military operation. In turn, Russia opposes any security guarantees that would pose a threat to Moscow. What guarantees are we talking about and why this issue is so important for Russia? In the material of Gazeta.ru. Moscow offers an alternative in the form of deploying a contingent of independent states that did not participate in the NWO on Ukraine's side. These could be China, India, Belarus, Arab states, and even the same UN Blue Helmets. Earlier, Russia explained why Zelensky rejected all of Trump's peace proposals.